Uh, okay, I think we're running. Okay. Okay. All right. So, everybody have a good lunch? Everybody have a full belly? No, no brothers and sisters sitting together. It's not allowed. So anyway, so this afternoon I'm going to cover some workshop-y stuff, how to use Eclipse a little bit, how to use Git a little bit, what it's all about, GitHub and so on. And not to get anybody nervous, don't get nervous, but after this, we're going to ask each of the sponsors of a project to give a little pitch about their project. So the people that have not read the other ones can hear how cool the project is and decide to want to participate. Not to get nervous, very informal. We're all friends here. So we'll do that later. So we're going to change the order around. So basically, another basic question is everybody clear on making the homework log with Google Docs and sharing the three of us on? Is that anybody at all confused about that?
Is there a FAQ on that?
Say what?
Is there a FAQ on that?
You already shared a Google Doc.
Okay.
There's an example and there's a template. I mean, how much easier do you want?
Okay.
I think I just sent you one.
Yeah, you did. I know. And if that's clear, then please put your pre-work links on that too as step 0. And the beauty is at the end you'll have this long file. So we won't have arguments about, I did hand it in, I didn't hand it in, you lost it. It'll all be there.
You just need one GitHub repository and different links to videos.
I think that's the best way to do it because then when you're done, you'll have a GitHub repository that will be part of your personal portfolio. So when you're out there looking for a job, instead of like claiming all kinds of things on your resume, you just show your code. Very powerful. So that's a good reason to have your own GitHub repository. Okay. So where to start? Well, let's start with creating a GitHub. Take a look at GitHub. So GitHub is source code control. Who's heard that term before and can say what it is? Anybody? Yes.
So I call it version control.
Okay, same diff.
The idea is rather than on a file system, you would say you write an essay and then you save it and then you change it a bit and then you save it. You can't go back to a previous version of that essay unless you change the name and you like it, and that's weird. So what version control does, one of the things it does is it keeps old copies of your work so that you can have them around. Another thing it does is that frequently it will upload your source code to a central repository so other people can see it or you can check it out from other computers. It's sort of like a standard, easy way to deal with your code at a more advanced level than just having a file system.
Right, and it's essential, and it's sort of a mandatory, light and electricity level tool for any team of people working on software. If you have 2 or 5, even if you just have 1, for those reasons and also for collaboration reasons, it's essential. So there's many different software packages out there. Historically, from the beginning of computer time, there's been different brands. The one we're going to be using is called Git, G-I-T, yes?
There's one other very important feature in this version control that you mentioned. Anyone remember or guess? Hazard a guess? Anyone basically in the industry that uses version control does that as, that's the essential one. The very important one is branching after that. That's basically what they use to add features to your program and then integrate branches later on.
So it's if you're working on a new feature and for a while you're creating lots of bugs, then she's working on the same product. She's not affected by the bugs you're creating when you're done. So you have your own branch and it's kind of working on the side, And then when you're happy, then you can do what they call merging the branches and bring them back together. So it's a very, again, fundamental tool that you use. And you can use, we're going to use it in a very simple way. We'll talk about the fancier features, but it's a very important thing to know. The one we're using called Git actually came from the Linux project. And the Linux is interesting because they have thousands upon thousands of collaborators. And so they had to have a way to deal with that. And they came up with this thing called Git. So Git, G-I-T, is the program that runs on your computer. Okay? And what it basically does is it works at the level of a subdirectory. So I found that one way to think of that I find easy to think about it is that oh, great, unerasable. You know, you have a subdirectory program that has, you know, a directory under there called source, and another one called doc, and then maybe you have a README file that's in the root, and this has files and this has files in it. One way that I find easy to think about it, that I think we've all used zip. We zip up a directory. Well, in a way, what Git does and what source code control systems do is they conceptually don't really do this exactly. They take whatever state this directory is in today, and they take a snapshot of the whole thing and set it aside. Okay? And they call that a commit. So at T1. Then you keep on working. So it's the same directory the next day at T2. And of course, things have changed. This has changed, and this has changed. Nothing else has changed. And you're working away. And now you decide it's time to create a snapshot. You create a commit. And so now you have commit number 2. So basically, it's taking this whole directory conceptually, because it doesn't actually save all the bits, squishing them down, putting them in a box, and letting it continue. And then there's tools, all kinds of ways to get back, or to let somebody grab this one, or any number of variations. So that's what Git does, and I'll show you on the command line how that works in a second. GitHub now takes this stuff and creates a website called github.com where you can send and retrieve these commits. And that's conceptually all that's going on. Questions? Clear? Okay, so let's now take a look at what it looks like in the computer, on the computer. So I'm going to go to my command. Yes, I'll do this just to start.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How many people are running Windows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, good, more? Great. How about Mac? You can actually see Mac. How about Linux? Linux too. Oh, okay.
So some of the basics I'm going to show you, after I show you this, and I won't spend too much time on it, we'll quickly show you how to not have to do this and just do it through Eclipse. Okay, but I think it's handy to understand it at the elementary level. So I'm going to go to a directory where I keep all my code, and I'm going to make a new directory, cast git. I'm going to go into it. Oh, yeah, move the screen over. You mean move? Is that it? Okay. Okay, I'm going to cd to that directory. So that's good. Okay, so I'm in an empty directory right now. ls is like there on Windows. I'm going to create a file. Actually, just do it like this. It's just a simple mind-to-text editor. So now I have a file called hello in there. And it's a regular directory. Git is not in the picture yet at all. Okay? But it says, and let me make another directory in here. Subdir, cd to subdir, touch. So this is another way to create a subfile. Now I have a file called subfile in here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to test-git. And it has two files in it, one called hello, one called subdir. Right? So far so good? Everybody keeping up? Yes.
What are nano and touch?
Ignore them. There's just ways to create files very fast. Touch, to answer your question, Nano is a lightweight character-based text editor, and Touch is a Unix command that marks a file as modified. If the file doesn't exist, it just creates an empty file. So it's just a quick and dirty way to create a file.
Thank you.
Okay? So now we've got that. So far, Git is not in the picture. Now let's say I want to start using Git. Now I can start using Git without actually having a server. I can just use it personally. So what I would do is I would say git init, and now this, magically, this directory is now Git enabled, which means I can do commits, which means I can reverse from commits and so on. I can do commits, work some more, do another commit, work some more, and so on. So let me just illustrate that real quick. So I'm going to another command so git status is going to show me that. I'm going to read this to you. It doesn't know. It's telling me it doesn't know yet untracked files about these two things, hello and subdir. And it's going to tell me that, therefore, if I did a commit now, nothing would happen. I think I should pop up a level here a second and explain, because you're going to need this when you use it, even in Eclipse. I'm going to pop up a level. Where's my pen? So let's say we have these files in here, right? We have, let's say, this readme file. When I tell Git to make a commit, a new commit, which is to say, create a snapshot, it's going to only put in the snapshot files that I have marked as being stuff that I'm working on. Okay? That's a little confusing. You have to add a file to this list of things I'm working on, which then become candidates to be put in the commit. So, for example, I might have modified this, as I just did, and so it's modified. But if I do a git, if I tell Git to make a new commit right now, it's going to tell me you've got a modified file, but you're not telling me to make it part of the commit. So that's kind of what happened here. So I said, it's telling me, you've got these two files, hello and subdir. They're new. I haven't seen them before. But as far as I'm concerned, you're not telling me to do anything with them yet. So I have to explicitly tell it what files I want to be part of the commit. And I do that by adding them. Okay? So if I do now, if I say git add hello, you don't see much, but now what I've done is I've told Git that hello is a file that I care about to make part of the next command. And the other file, the directory I've called subdir, I haven't added it yet. So if I do git status now, I'm just asking it what's up. It's going to tell me this file is part of your commit and it's new. This one, you haven't told me what to do with this yet, which is okay. But usually what you end up doing is add everything because, so I could add subdir as well. I know, yep.
Is adding the same thing as staging?
Yes, exactly. So now I've added both of them, and it knows that they're both new, and it knows that they're both modified. I still haven't created the commit. So all I've done is designated the files of interest within this directory. And now finally, I can say git commit. I can give it a message, second commit, or it's actually the first. And now I've created a new snapshot. So now the world looks like this. Now I have this, the second one, the original state, and I have the second state, commit number 2. And since I haven't done any more work, these two are identical. If I now go work a little bit and add another file, let me just do touch. Another file, and I do directory. I have another file. You know what? Let me put this up higher this way too. I hate that when that happens. No, okay, forget that. You see it, right? Yeah. So now I have three files, another file, hello, and subdir. And if I do git status, what will I see? Anybody? Anybody who hasn't said anything before? What will I see? Right, exactly. And then, because that's the one, that's exactly right. So I have an untracked file called another file. Now if I modify hello by touching it, it may be smart actually. I may have to edit it. Yeah, it's smart. So if I do, I'm going to confuse you by using even a third editor. But now I'm going to stop changing editors. So I added a line to that file. And if I do git status now, I see that it knows that hello is modified, and it knows that another file is new. It's never seen it before. So I need to add or stage another file. And now all we know is that hello has been modified. And I can now commit, and I'm going to make a third commit. And now things status is, oh, why did hello? Maybe I have to add it also. I have to stage this change. Add hello, and now I'm committed.
You already added it once.
You have to add it every time you make a change.
In fact, if you add it and then make a change and then commit, that change doesn't go in. Adding actually takes a copy of it and puts it into the staging area as it is. And so if you add it and you make a change, you have to add it again if you want that change to come in. So to add, when you say add, you're saying add this version of the file right now to my staging area, and then later you commit that. It's not by name, it's by content.
That doesn't match my experience at all.
Huh?
Why?
Well, try, you can try.
Yeah,
Why,
it's
would you why do you need to separate? If you need to add again anyway, why did you add then commit? Why is it this one stop?
because you may actually, because there are some files that you may want to freeze in time before working on some other things and then committing, or because there may be a file that you don't want to commit. I mean, you want to leave it aside, like it's a file that you never want to put in as part of the history, like a .class file that's a result of a compilation or something like that.
And often you're adding stuff, you work on something, you say, okay, that's good, I'm going to add it. And if you want, you can force it back to the original version if they forget what the command is.
So I'm running a little way to visualize what's happened here. So we see here that there's three commits. I call this one third. First, third, another third. But anyway, there's three commits, and you can see by this line that they're inherited from each other. Boom, boom. And if you look at each one, you can actually see that in the first commit, and in fact, if I go do this, I can see that the first commit has a file called hello, a directory called subdir with a subfile that's empty. If I go, so that's the first zip file, conceptually. If I go to the second time I did a commit, now I have two files in a subdirectory, one called another file, one called hello, and this is still the same. If I go to the third commit I did, the third snapshot, okay, now I have the same thing if I want to find out actually what changed. What changed was that I added a line to this file. Okay? So that's, now notice I've been working on one computer. So far there's no server involved, there's no other users involved. It's a personal way to be able to create snapshots, see what changes I made, and go back. Wait, you were first.
Two questions. One, you said there's no server involved, so nothing has been uploaded. It's just making commit files on your personal computer.
Correct. In hidden directories in this directory.
Okay. And the other question was, I forgot.
Okay. Another thing that might be interesting is to show them how to tag.
Yeah.
You can tag a commit with a name, and then later you can check out that tag, and everything reverts to that the snapshot with that tag name.
Now you don't
so I
even
can call this V1, and you make some edits. Next one commit, call it V2. Make some more edits, call it V3. And then you can say git check out V1, and your git space goes right back to what it looked like in V1.
Now you don't actually have to tag to get that. I mean, the commits have names that you can just.
Well, they have the hash names.
Well, even these, you can just, you can check them out by the hash name. Exactly, yes. And branches. So there's actually, so I guess the net point is that as you build these, what I think of as little zip files, they all have, they start off with a name which is a cryptographic hashtag, a lot of letters and numbers. Hey,
You made it. Here, have a seat.
have a seat here, and I wanted to, we saved you a seat.
Well, thank you.
So that's the first thing. The second thing is you can tag it with a human readable name, like my favorite version. And the third thing you can do is you can create a branch, and that's another way to name it. And the nuances of the semantics of branches versus tags are, beyond what we need to worry about today. But the point is that there's multiple ways to revert back to a previous snapshot. If you're checking out from a server or from another user, you can decide which one you want. So there's a lot of control. But the essential, and of course when we get into branches, which I'll just, if we now zoom out and we start drawing these things as little boxes, these little snapshots, I can have commit 1. After that, I can commit 2. Actually, when they draw these things, for reasons I don't understand, they always put the arrows this way, based off of commit 3. Now you can give it a name, you can give it a tag, Tim's favorite. And you can keep on going, commit 4, so on. But now somebody says, okay, listen, you're going to work on one, I'm going to work on one, we're going to make a branch. So I can now say, actually, Tim's favorite was good, I didn't like where this particular person was taking this thing, I want to create a branch. And I'm going to follow from this to C6 and C7. So you have a situation here where the files in this snapshot inherited or came from or were initialized by what was in this snapshot, which came from or were initialized by what was in here, and so on back. Okay? So that kind of implies that the first line in my README file here might have been the number 100. Here it would still be the number 100. Here would still be the number 100. Nobody changed it. But over here, Tim said, I want it to be the letter Brandeis, the word Brandeis. So if you look at the README file in this commit, or in this commit, the first line is going to say Brandeis. If you look at the README file, the very same file, in this commit, it's going to say 100. So you're going to have a contradiction here. Okay? And that means that obviously you have to make a choice. Either, and you can imagine, of course, I'm using a silly example with the README, but you can imagine a big system with dozens of files, and I'm working on one particular file, and you're working on a different file. That's not a problem, because they still make sense together. If, however, we're both working on the same file, right, and we're both modifying the same method, then, the computer's not going to be able to help figure out what the right thing to do is. As long as these two branches stay separate, everything's okay. But if someday in the future I would like to rejoin our work, this is called a merge. This is called a branch. To create C8, which is totally possible, somehow we're going to have to figure out how to reconcile these changes. Okay? And that reconciliation is done automatically by Git in an extraordinarily clever way. So sometimes you don't even know how to figure out the right way to combine files. But sometimes it says, I don't know, README in this branch called branch says Brandeis. In this branch, it says 100. You, the programmer, decide what to do. And then you rejoin, you can keep on going. And on a real project, it can get pretty long. So this is what it looks like after you did something for a while. And you see, if you look at the notes, more tweaking of CSS to refined look, apply new CSS to UI. And basically, and you can see several different programmers applying here. And you have a collaboration, you have merges, and you have forks. So it's a very, very robust and powerful way to keep your sanity when you're working with a bunch of people on a program. we're not going to do anything that complicated, obviously. All right. Questions? I'm sure at least a third of you are confused. Thank you.
I'm pretty confused, but this essentially works like a save state, like you go back to a previous state, like you're playing a game.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except it's now a whole directory of work.
And you can merge.
Yeah. But I mean, forget about. Just start with the idea of save the state, make some changes. Save the state, make some changes. Now you can go back.
Check out, is there a guide on how to do this, like written down? Because I'm not going to remember all that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give you links for you to study. Yes. Absolutely. This is simple but tricky. That's why I was sure that at least a third of you were confused. So who else is going to admit to being confused? Come on. Come on. Yeah! You?
I actually have a question.
Okay.
Doing it through the command prompt or the terminal is cool. Is there a GUI that you can use to do all that? Or
Yeah. I'm going to show you how to do it through Eclipse.
Okay.
But I just wanted to, the basic concepts you have to get, otherwise the UI is not going to help you.
Okay.
Yes?
I just want to make one comment. So a very standard thing to do when you work with a group of people is you branch, you do some stuff, make sure it looks good, and then merge. Right? So branching is often a really common thing. It's so lightweight here, it's so easy to do. So whenever you start to work, you can just branch, do some work, and if it turns out there's nothing is working, just throw the branch away.
It's also relatively difficult to break things because it's non-destructive. Everything you do is non-destructive. Yes?
You're talking about stages here.
Yes, staging, yes.
I'm used to doing like checking out.
Yeah, Git does not have that concept.
Right, but it's kind of similar with staging and unstaging, I guess.
Well, but staging is really a step to be a little bit surgical about what you're going to commit. Checking out, even though there's a checkout command in Git, I think it's different from the idea of checking out, is from the days when there was a repository over there and you just pulled the piece you wanted over to your computer. In Git, weirdly enough, every individual laptop has a complete copy of everything. And so
It's more of like, once I check out a file, I'm the only one that can commit to modify. And anyone else that tries to get a copy of it.
and you don't have that here. There's no. It's an optimistic locking. You check it out, and then you get into trouble when you try to push it back. Yes.
Like I was using this for Professor Hickey's class last semester.
Yeah.
And what we did was when we were, so we had to make changes to like this whole database of programs, like this whole group of programs, like
Right.
lots of different files of code. And every time we made a change, like we committed back.
Mhm.
But when I viewed the master's files, I would see the most updated version that I committed.
Right.
I'm a little confused about how it just did that if I wasn't merging anything.
Because when you you did a commit on your computer, and that created a new snapshot, even though it was linear, right? If it was,
Then you push.
and then you pushed, right? So even if it's totally linear, it doesn't matter. So this is how it's going to work with your personal Git repositories. You're going to have commit 1. You're going to do some work. Okay, I like it. Commit 2. You may end up with just 2 or 3 commits. Commit 3. So there's no merging necessary to have commits. It's just a snapshot. It's a safe state.
So when I commit these, the master changes?
There's no master per se. When you commit them, and okay, so now how does the server come into the picture? Let's jump to that. So now when there's a server, let me just do that real
So
quick.
master is the name of the branch. It's the
Oh.
name of your branch, and when you're committing, yeah, you're changing that branch, master branch. Make another branch, and you commit and go on that,
Great.
that branch and change.
Do you have to like specifically make a branch, or is it
Yeah,
like
so you're
assumed?
almost, when you create a repository, it automatically has it's called the master branch, the first one. And there's also, if you clone the repository from somewhere else, then that remote one has a name also called origin. So
So your clone has a master in your computer, and that thing's the origin. So when you push to the origin, that's when your master becomes the real master?
yeah, so there's a command, get clone in a big address, or get, and that pulls down a copy into your local machine, right? And then the name of that remote repository is called origin, by default. You could change it. And then, and the main thread you're on is usually master. And then you say git push origin master, and you git means push your current master branch up to origin, which is the name of that original.
Yeah, actually, I believe that origin is the name of the remote server,
Yeah.
not the branch on the remote
No,
server.
master
So
is the name of the, yeah, you're right.
master is the branch that you have locally, and you're saying put that branch called master on the server called origin, because that's where it started in theory. I don't have a connection here, so. Huh? What?
So who's confused now?
Yeah. So I'm going to describe this in words. Whoa, something happens. Oh yeah, I guess I have it now. Okay. So you're going to go to github.com and create an account, a free account. I won't do that. All right. And you will now, the next thing you will do is you will say new repository, because it's going to create a repository of yours. And what did the silly thing get called? It was called test-git. I'm going to call it test-git. My test. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. And now, of course, okay, create repository. So now what's happening is that now I'm on the server, and it's created an empty repository on the server called test-git. Now, what we need to do is to get the repository, which is the term we use for this whole subdirectory, on my laptop, pushed up to the server, so that there'll be an identical copy on the server as there is on my laptop. Okay? So I've already done a make their test-git. I've already CD'd it. I've already initted it, and I've already done the first commit. So what I need to do is this command, which is going to tell my local computer what the repository on the server is called. Okay? That's the first thing I do. So here we go. That was fast.
And you can change origin. That's not a keyword. That's just an identifier.
Right.
You can call it.
However, I recommend not changing it because everything you read, documentation, examples, always says origin, so it'll be easier on your brain. There are complicated cases where you want multiple servers that are syncing with each other, but yes, sure.
What exactly is the dash m?
Which one?
For every commit, we like put in the dash m.
Oh, where I did it for
Creates a
the,
message.
yeah, I basically git commit -m. This is my favorite commit. Gives it a label, a name, a piece of text that's descriptive text. So if I did a git commit for this one, -m, then this one, -m, hello Brandeis, then this one would be called hello Brandeis.
So do we have to do a dash m?
Yes, you do, because every commit has a name. But it's just a sentence that means something to you. It could be first version, my favorite, I love my mom, whatever. Yeah. Okay, who else is confused? Any other questions? No? No. All right, so now my laptop knows the name of the server space that I just created here. And now all I got to do is tell it to push, which is to say copy smartly the state of my little repository from my computer to the server. And it's done. It says in this sentence here, God, let me just fix this. Okay. Oh, wait. It says in this sentence here, does that work? Oh, it doesn't hardly work on the screen. What a bummer. That it's created a branch called master on the server to mimic the branch called master I have on my laptop. And now, if I refresh the screen, I see that there's the file uploaded. So now it's available on GitHub.
This is 18 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's how long I've been talking. Yeah. That's when it was last modified, not when I pushed it.
Oh, alright.
And if I click on this, I can actually see what's in the file. In this case, there's nothing. If I look over here, there it is. I can see that there's only one branch. It's called master. There are no tags. If I look here, I can see that there are 3 commits. The first one, the third one, and the other third one. And I actually can look inside of the first one. I'm on the server now and see what that commit contained. Okay? Am I doing the right thing here? I clicked on this. Oh no, that's my name. Sorry about that. Maybe you can't see it from here. Tree. Yeah, here it is. Here's what it contained. But that's not important. The important thing is that now the snapshot says I have 3 commits. First commit, third commit, third commit. On my laptop, those 3 are now on the server. Okay? This whole repository on the server is known as this URL, or this string. Let's call that. And if you have this string, then you can get a copy of this repository on your computer by doing a clone, by doing a git space clone space this string. And what you would have then is exactly these 3 commits on your computer to play around with, to edit, to whatever you want. Okay? Now, I know a lot of you are on Windows, so you don't have the command line. But basically, yes.
Can I, or can we go over clone,
Yes.
edit, commit,
Yeah.
push, just once, maybe on the terminal, or maybe on the whiteboard?
Yes, sure.
Okay, first, git clone
Check.
that string.
Okay, I'll do it on the command line. So let me just delete this, be radical.
Yeah, delete all the
Bam, gone. Okay?
So first we're gonna make a directory.
No, we don't make a directory. Good point.
Okay.
Copy this. And,
You can copy this in there?
pardon? It was in the browser.
Pardon?
I was in the browser. You can also,
I didn't know you could copy this directly from the browser.
It's actually.
and now I paste. Oh no, wrong. Yeah, I know. Git clone and that magic string. Wait. Now I have a directory called testgit, and my files are in there. I can go into testgit, and I can go into my text editor, and I can say, I got this via GitHub. Right? I've modified the hello file. I can go back here. I just saved it, so the file is edited now. So if I type the hello file, it says I got this via GitHub, right?
And cat just reads it.
Pardon?
Cat just reads the file.
Yeah, cat's the type. It's a type command. So far, so good. If I do a git status to see what Git thinks of what's going on, it says that the hello file has been modified. I have to tell it that I want to treat it as part of the next commit, so I want to stage it. So I do git add hello. If I do a git status now to ask it what's going on, it's now ready to be committed, changes to be committed. Notice here it said not staged for commit, but now it says ready to be committed. I now do a commit. I give it a message via GitHub. So I do a git status now. And look, it says it's clean. Is it on the server now? Anybody? Who thinks it's already on the server? Who thinks it's not yet on the server? On the server. Anybody? It's not on the server yet because I haven't done the push. So what I've done so far, is I've done, I created the fourth commit. This is on my Peter's laptop. On the server,
It's on my laptop too.
yeah, I have just this. Right? So in fact, if I go over to the server and take a look, and I refresh, and I see a look at my commits, I see that there are only 3 commits. Go back to my laptop.
Wait, so
Yes.
You deleted the other things because you didn't commit them.
There were no, the,
Because you downloaded 3 things.
Right.
You only changed and committed 1 thing. So
I committed, but I did not upload it. I did not push it.
Yeah, no, so once you upload, the other things are gone.
Well, no,
From
because,
that commit.
no, because no. Okay, let me just go back.
Is he only gonna save this new file?
So, basically here, I did the commit locally and called it via GitHub. So on my laptop now there's 4 commits. The 1, third, and now this one called via GitHub. On the server there's still 3. So if I do, right? If I do a push now, I'm going to have 4 here.
But why does why does it say 3 deletions?
That's because there were 3 lines in that file.
Oh.
And
okay.
now there's 1 file.
It means, based on, okay.
Right, it's basically 1 file changed, 1 insertion, 1 string added, 3 deleted. Yes? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So now lastly, I'm going to do git push origin, it's backwards, master. So push to the server called origin, the branch called master. And the server now reports the same thing. And now we go here, refresh this page, and there's the 4th commit. So now the server state is exactly what the client state is. Okay? Yes?
How'd you delete stuff from the server?
You can't.
You can't?
No. Which is always a problem. I mean, you can, but it's very difficult. So when you see forum posts like, oh man, I accidentally committed my login and password for my SQL server. Can I delete it? And the answer is no, you can't. So you have to be careful about what you stage and commit to the server. Now, there is a lot of complication by which you can do it, and I've seen long recipes. I don't know what they are, but in principle.
The word commit is very appropriate then.
But yeah, exactly. You're committed. You're committed. Exactly.
And then, so I cloned his repository before he did the changes, and now he uploaded changes, and now I want his changes on mine. So I can say git pull origin, and it just pulls all the changes down. Now hello says I got this via GitHub.
Is
So-
that a new branch, or is that your main branch now?
There's only one branch.
There's only one
Master
branch.
I haven't.
Now, he doesn't have yet have write permissions to this repository. He only has read. So the concept to think about is there's a subdirectory that's being managed by Git. You can do a command to create a snapshot that has a name. We call those snapshots commits. You can have a series of them, each one derived from the one before it. You can have a server with exactly the same concept, and when you want, you can replicate the state of your laptop or your computer to the server. And the same is true for multiple people, and it's impossible for people to clobber each other's stuff by accident.
So you can't delete commits, but can you delete repositories or no?
You can delete repositories off of GitHub. Yes.
Yeah, so have you ever submitted your password is download everything, delete it?
Right, but you may want the stuff, maybe to maybe other users. I
If
don't know.
you download it through your computer, you can there delete some commits and then upload it.
Yeah. It's sneaky because there's a lot of hidden directories. There's a lot of caching and stuff. So, but it happens. I mean, just look for, deleting password GitHub in Google. I'm sure you'll get like lots of hits. Okay. Shall I go into branching, or do you guys feel sufficiently muddled already? Just keep the key ideas in your mind. I don't think we're going to need branching much, at least not for a week or two. Yes.
Just one question.
Yeah.
So I've got a local branch on my laptop.
Yeah.
Which is my local master.
Yeah.
And I want to upload your latest version as well, but I want to keep my local master on my laptop.
Okay.
Is there an option to do that?
Well, here's what would happen. If you're, give me the scenario again. How did the world start?
I've got a local master
Of what?
of your repository. You've got a GitHub thing online.
Yeah.
You make a local copy of it.
Yeah.
And then you come up with a new version.
Yeah.
And so your online version is completely new now.
Yeah.
I want your new version, but I don't want, when I download it, I don't want this clone, like my previous clone, to get covered up.
What you would have to do is to turn yours, because if you try to pull my version from the server, you'll get an error. It will tell you, listen, you changed it locally, so decide what you want to do. And that decision probably would be for you to create a branch with your changes, and then you'd be allowed to bring that.
So you can make a local branch?
Yes, you can make a local branch, which you can then also push to the server. Okay? But it wouldn't let you, so the first thing you try, it would say, sorry, make up your mind what you want to do.
That's why it's a good idea after you branch, whenever you start working on something, just branch right away. And then you can go back to the master branch and pull down the latest changes. And then go check out your own branch and keep working on it.
Let's just do that since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So now,
Do you want to make me a collaborator?
Yes.
Not to do too many.
We use this all summer long, so,
So
by
you'll-
next week it'll just be second.
Yes,
nature. You
exactly.
won't even think about it. In fact, you'll just imagine, how could I have ever coded without this?
okay, so basically, I'm going to make them in fact, anybody who wants to be a collaborator, let me know. I hit the admin button. Remember that being a collaborator is something I'm doing to the server. Nothing to do with my laptop. And here's the collaborators. And is that you? Looks like you.
TJ5724.
Yep. Anybody else want to be a collaborator? Anybody on GitHub? Sehar. That you, the cat? Anybody else?
Sure. JW done.
Hello, why did not put him in? JW done.
He went in.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So now the three of you can all contribute and go to town. And so in the meanwhile, I'm going to go back to my command line, and I'm going to create a branch called my first branch. Interestingly, you have to remember, after you create the branch, to check it out, which is to say, make it your current branch. Now, this magic I'm doing here with my command line is some shell stuff that makes my prompt for my command line include the branch I'm on, which is convenient, but it's just a little extra hack. So now, I'm going to go to my editor again, and I'm going to make the change here. I'm going to say, but this time I am working on my new branch. Woohoo. And I save it, and I go back here, and I do git status, and I see that hello's been modified, right? No surprise. It's been modified in the branch called my first branch. So, what we just did is, we had 4. I created my first branch. I haven't committed yet, so actually there's nothing here yet until I make the commit. I'm going to make the commit now. I'm going to say, okay. Did I add it? No, I'm going to add it first. And then I'm going to commit with the message, commit to my first branch. Okay, 1 file's changed, 4 lines were added, nothing was deleted. So now I have C5 here, which is that 1 line change. It has its own copy of the file hello. So it's got to be different from the copy of the file hello in here, right? So, yes?
So you can only really be working on one Git project at a time then?
No, that's not true. Well, for certain values of only.
Well, you're saying like...
I could just go to another directory, and then I'd be in another Git project.
Okay. So when you say git branch my first branch, it knows that you're working on this repository. It's the one
Based on my
that's
current
associated with this
directory.
folder.
The current directory is God. It determines everything. Yeah. Okay, so now I have two branches. Yeah, the master branch and my first branch, whatever it's called. So I could, and hopefully Tim is right now.
Want me to extend the master branch?
Huh?
I can extend.
Why don't you extend the master? Hopefully Tim is now extending the master. So he's going to make a change to that same file in this area. And then we're going to have a combination. We're going to have a problem because we're going to have two different branches. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to take that red thing, the hello thing, and I'm going to push it to the server. Okay? So I'm going to go git push origin. Not master, but my first branch. Because I'm trying to tell the server that there's a new branch called my first branch, and that's what I want to push.
It's not letting me access.
Oh.
I have bad.
Bad connection? Bummer.
Is there a way to fix the internet? I think that if it's as frustrating as right now for the rest of the year, for the summer,
Well,
we will end up hurting someone.
yeah, we may have to, probably in the afternoons, we'll have to go back to Bowman in 101 and 118 and that space. That way, good internet connection table.
Will we have to go back, or do you mean?
If that, because I don't think we're doing another internet repeater in here.
No, but don't you think that there's a secret IBS domain? Because they can't possibly be living in this whole place with just this connection.
I mean, there's not just one access point. It's just probably this particular access point because there's multiple devices connected. to
True,
it.
true.
Yeah, I agree with Todd. I think it's just on overload because we're all connected to one.
It was pretty weak signal when it.
Yeah, the signal is weak though. Anyway,
No, okay.
so now I pushed it up to the server, and I should be able to say, take a look at the branches, and you see that I have two branches. I have the master branch, which is what I'm on, and I have my first branch. And I notice here even that I can compare them. But there's my first branch, and if I go to it, I see the same file, and if I look at the hello file, it should say, this time I'm working with the new branch. If I go to, so basically you see now there's two nearly identical versions of this subdirectory tree, with two different contents for the file called hello. Okay? And if we visualize it over here, which is also fun, we can see that there's the branch called my first branch. There's the branch called master. And we have two different branches. Now it turns out that where things stand right now, it's drawing it in a straight line because it is kind of a straight line. Once Tim creates another commit off of this,
I don't think, am I on there? Can you check to see if I've actually been added to the collaborators? Because I don't see it on mine.
You have to.
did I not save or whatever? Let's see. Yeah.
P724. It's not showing up in my
Doesn't show
repository.
the dashboard.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
showing a
search for
dashboard,
it.
yeah.
What's that?
Just search for it.
I have to search for it?
Search
Oh,
for
what's
it,
it
get it,
called?
and then do it.
Test.
That's the-
Test kit.
Okay. What do you guys think? Kind of get it? Get it totally? Okay. Let's go to Eclipse now. Take a look how all this stuff works in Eclipse. So, first I'll show it to you in action. I'm going to, let's see, give me one of your Git commits. What?
I tried to clone it, and then I edited something, and then I added it.
Yeah.
Now I committed it.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to push it, and it won't let me.
Maybe, are you showing up as a collaborator? I mean,
Can you make me a collaborator?
yeah, sure. Just tell me who you are.
It's just you can just git push.
Huh?
I'll spell it out.
Oh, somebody just edited something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. See? He did it. Da-dum. He wins. Okay, let me just add you.
What is the syntax? of git push?
T-A-H-A.
Here, that's it.
Yeah, can you add me while you're at it? It's TT Kirkland. Yeah, second, yeah.
Okay?
Another TT Kirk.
Okay. So if we go look at this again, let's see what happened. There's test kit. And we see that JW done just did something. And here's what he did. He edited another file. And, oh no, I clicked, what happened there is I clicked on your name. What I need to do is click here. And he said, I'm editing this file. And, oops, sorry. I know, very creative, very nice. If I go back, oops, where the hell was I? Did I close the window by mistake? I must have. Okay. Oh, there's another one. All right, now it's going on. So now we look at our branches. We have 2 branches. Now you guys have been modifying the master branch. So far, nobody's touched my separate branch, which is the way it should be. And if we look at the master branch, and we look at the commits, we should see, okay, there we go. So we had the first 3 commits I did, then 3 other commits done by others. And interestingly, you did your commit on GitHub itself. You didn't check it in on your computer and so on. You just did it right there. Now, Tim's still not in.
I keep getting some kind of weird HTTP request
Huh.
Branch. I made a new branch too.
You made a new branch?
Yeah, why not?
Cool. Now, but did you push it?
Yes.
Okay, well then if I refresh, I should see it. There it is. Bam. Sahar branch. Now, was your branch off of master or off of my first branch? In other words, did you do...
Oh, I'm not sure.
Huh?
It says master over there.
God damn screen.
How would I know which branch I was on if I just cloned the repository?
You can do git status, and it'll tell you what... you can say git branch, and it'll tell you what branch you're on as well. But probably you were on master. So if we look at the commits, there's another, the network. This is kind of fun to look at too. We see that, there we go. There's a little diagram. So here you have the first branch, and then you have both Sahar branch and master both point to the same thing.
That shouldn't be right.
Pardon?
That shouldn't be right. I branched and then made a new.
Yeah, but you haven't checked any files into the branch. Did you make any changes and commit it?
Yeah.
Um,
And I did git branch and it tells me I'm in the master branch.
Yeah, so here's another nuance to explain. What does master mean? Master, and that's the difference between a branch and a tag. The name of the branch of this thing is called master. This thread is called master. And if you add things to it, this thread is still called master. So master refers to the end point of that chain. And if we keep on committing on this one, they're all still called my new branch. So that's why it's called master. So your commit is now the tip of the branch, the newest commit for the branch called master.
But I made my own branch.
Yeah.
And then I said commit. So wouldn't it commit to that new branch?
Remember you have to make a branch and then check it out. Give branch X and then check out X.
So
Make that branch active.
what do I do now?
Pardon?
So I want to. So right now, how do I switch to working on the branch instead of the master?
Type git branch and then git checkout and then the name of the branch. But let me move on because I don't want to get totally stuck in this stuff. So now, anybody created a GitHub repository that I don't have yet for your homework? Anybody? I know at least one other person did. No?
I sent it to you.
Yeah, no, just that's good. I'm not saying you didn't. I just would like to have its name. Remind me what its name is?
JBS.
Oh, this is last year.
Yeah.
You see it?
You need my username for that, I guess?
Yeah, but it should show up on this list. JBS something. Well, what's your name again? Sorry.
TAHA?
DAH.
No, with the T. ALI. No R, sorry. TAHA, ALI. DAK.
Wah. There we go.
That's it.
Okay, so there's your repository. So I'm just gonna take. I'm not a collaborator, so I get this HTTPS URL, which means it's not a Git URL, but that's okay. It'll work. I take this. I copy to my clipboard. I'm showing you the Eclipse thing now. Okay. I'm going to go to Eclipse, and I'm going to say File, Import from Git repository. See it? Yes, you can. How do you get that plugin, that command?
The Git folder.
What I'm looking at right now, you mean?
Yeah.
It's a plugin. I'm going to show you how to install it on your Eclipse. Okay? I just want to give you first a taste, and then I'll give you the plugin. Okay, so I'm going to put the URI in here, and I'm going to say finish, and magic, there it is. And it's cloning, you see here, and there's his files. So there's maze.java, right in Eclipse. And now, of course, if I can modify it, and I can save it. So far, so good. And the little star says it's been modified. But if I try to do a team, I can stage. It'll let me do that because I'm still local. But then if I do a team, it's going to let me commit.
Should I just change your privilege?
No, it's okay because it's good to show the side of it. I'm going to commit. And it's going to say, this is, okay, first of all, it added, bless you, added a .project file, so that's showing up as a change. And I'm going to do, and also, of course, it knows that I modified maze.java. So basically, let me explain this back to look at. But basically, what it's showing here is files that have been changed, that are unstaged, they have not been added. So if I do a commit now, they will not go. Files that have been changed that are staged. So if I do a commit now, it will go. And the commit message. So I'm going to say here, this will not upload. I can commit. No problem. I have now a new commit to his directories on my computer. And now, oh, and by the way, notice here it says master +1, so it's one commit later than what's called master on the server. And now I say team commit. And it's going to say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. I meant push, or whatever the term is here. Team push, right there. And it's going to go fatal. Cannot, yet, permission denied.
Let me fix that.
Okay. But then I have to re-clone it, because I think that the URL I have is a URL that's for read-only. Yeah. So, okay, so that's the plugin. So let me now go to our class.
Could that be the problem too?
What?
Wrong copy.
Wrong kind of URL? Could be, I suppose. I don't know what, but he wasn't even seeing it in the Git. Were you able to now collaborate? Not even through the GitHub?
Requested URL return error 401 while accessing that.
Oh, maybe that, did you clone with the HTTPS :URI or with the Git URI?
With the Git.
Oh, well that.
I just emailed you the new link.
Okay. Let me just, and I added here Eclipse. And here's Eclipse notes. So, oh, that's interesting. Now that is, that's not very useful. Okay, here's the URL. Very important URL. Here's how you will use it. First of all, who's using Eclipse? Who has successfully installed it? It works for you. It's a good installation. Awesome. Good. What?
Yes.
Yes. So what you do is this. Go to Eclipse. Help. You can do this now if you want. Install new software. You type this URL in, which I didn't copy. So you copy this URL from here. I can read it to you too if you want.
Is this under work with?
Say what?
Where is this work with? Like,
Yeah, well, yes. So you say work with, you put the URL in there. You hit enter. Oh, well, oh, yeah. Do I have a typo in here?
Worked for me.
It did, huh? Maybe I already have it. It worked for you? Good.
Team provider incubation, they came up with two.
Yeah.
Don't you have to add first, or?
Yeah, I did. Oh, you're right, sorry. Hit add and then put the URL here, I forgot. Yep. And then eGit, but I already have it in here, that's why it said that.
You can select from that drop down.
Oh,
Wait, no, install new software.
install new software.
What menu item is that?
Help. It's help, install new software. Makes sense, right, on the help menu? Yes. Hit add. Put the URL you copied and pasted from the website here. So, what?
But mine works.
The eGit.
That's download.eclipse.org/egit/update.
Where?
We need to
Where's that on the
put
website? I think you need an S software update.
Oh, that's what happened.
Oh. So what should we name it?
Whatever you want, you're right. Yeah, there it is.
Like kind of Git.
Something that you'll remember. Doesn't matter.
On the website, there's like a walkthrough of stuff you have to do in the terminal. It's the first step, setting up your GitHub account.
Oh, yes, yeah. On the GitHub, yeah.
When I put in the URL, just, at the top where it says work with, and then hit enter, it comes up with two.
Oh, right.
You gotta pick one.
And Jack.
Yeah, I think the top one. Yeah.
And what's the difference between exactly the name?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's just making having a source for your plugins.
Okay.
So
So that later on you
put
can
in your
choose
help
that.
and
Just did that.
it checks all your sources.
Do you recommend that I have a place for it then? I mean, technically I did it last night, but I guess that's why it's.
I think we're just gonna read it out.
So each.
Oh, where's that from? What page is that?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then we check both and say,
What's the second?
Oh, recent
Sorry.
The team that developed the thing.
so there's things to check here now.
Say what?
So there are these things that they say they want me to check.
Yeah, check one. Check, yeah.
Okay. Do I have to care about them?
Nope.
Okay.
Going from
Working.
I don't like these tables.
So how are these locations really?
Location, it says.
Yeah.
I feel like you should take the feature.
Yeah, I'm getting bad look. I can't get it to work.
Copy.
Like,
the-
no
copy the-
It's like no software. That's
Yeah.
unknown host.
Oh, yeah, hit right.
Now, you paste the URL,
Honors.
give it a name.
I mean, delete that.
I mean, we can worry about that. I'll do the ad again. It didn't work, I think it's because you added it initially that.
Yeah.
I had it right the first
did
time.
delete it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the weird part.
Have you added a repository?
Yeah.
Just for trying to do that.
Disclose the button over there. Yeah.
Because I did
No
everything.
software.
I got like the
What's the website again?
Means flying as locations.
Work to question mark. Okay, so this sign.
That was my title.
Oh, okay,
So
got
I
it.
think you want this
Yeah.
section there, location. So what you do is go to this, go to the course website.
Wait, it's not duplicate location, looks like you already have it.
Yeah.
So, click this little down arrow here.
Okay, it's weird.
Like that.
Did I find it?
His update.
Yeah,
You are
it's the same
to guest network.
Okay.
Unless it's this thing.
Yeah,
It's the one I made.
secure.
Same thing as version. I know I got this one wrong, I spelled download wrong, but
This one, try that one.
that one, I think I just spelled something wrong.
Actually,
Can you make it?
really not good connection.
But it has to do with the location, the SDS doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then,
So where they go?
Yeah.
um,
But it also delete it, then.
so what the-
Right now, I'm only boxed. But on secure, I went to
And it says,
Yes.
secure, I don't, for some reason,
Unlock?
the
Yeah, yeah.
signals
so
allow
you
me
need
to.
to type in your password.
You get it?
That would be under plugin.
Because if you already successfully added it before.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this is like, so
Okay.
weird. I don't like this place. Why am I so weird?
So you should, so Git,
We did not want to do it all, but like, think about it like that.
What you're doing is you're sending a DNS request supposed to be here access point. Actually, what's beyond this? Assign an IP address.
You have to think.
No, it's like the idea
Is
is
through an active
wireless
TCP/IP connection.
internet, wireless internet. This is
Actually, once you
wave it
open-
around, it's still connected to the internet. It's an internet that it's like.
and then where the person's supposed to.
And then because you're sending you're sending packets that the receiver can.
It's so
Okay, so
cool.
go to,
How
go
they
to,
can, like, Wi-Fi is like the
well, there
coolest
it is,
technology
it's
ever invented. Yeah, it's not even rough, like,
okay, then,
there's like these huge towers that make
Oh,
cell
are they
phones.
fishing rods?
No, you watch my, it's like, device that you plug in, and then it's like,
That's not like yeah, that's on your client machine, but just like your cell phone, it's a little machine with the actual network.
okay, cell phones are awesome, I'll give you that.
do you need to see it in here, can't you just do everything in
I
here?
think their cell phones and Wi-Fi are basically
Tells
the
me,
same.
open the thing.
Open that one,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't.
Your
So,
shape
your,
and then add all of your files in this project.
we're supposed to open one of those?
Sorry, say that again.
So now you would be connecting to your GitHub repository
Right.
or your local one.
Okay, which one? Say,
And then you can
Okay.
check all these files here.
so once you do, try doing that. EMACS.
VR.
EMACS.
For the pricing, which I think is called Plank, Plank doesn't work with 64-bit.
Tab.
Doesn't work with 64-bit?
Tab.
Apparently it doesn't.
So running is why you chose that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that the problem?
Yeah,
Plank?
stupid new computer.
Yeah. Plank is like a terminal-based version of Putty. So you can actually change the permissions. It won't let me because it won't open. And then I found like 64 support. It's like, oh, it's not.
Where are you?
Unless I can run it in very cheap. Oh, that's it. I can run it.
Yeah.
So I think that's
So you don't want to get progress.
we have to create the repository.
I was just gonna select something.
Yeah, I did that too.
Create your own GitHub.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I, and then locate it via terminal to the,
Then you have the string.
oh yeah, the string.
Yes.
Yeah, now,
Just go to GitHub to your repository.
I did that.
You already did this?
Yeah.
Repo?
I did that before.
What? Can't get the finish?
I got one here.
I
and
got,
then
why did it do
Yeah,
that?
and I looked at
Okay,
that.
let's sit there.
Let's get rid of it.
My system must be reviewed, so I didn't do that. I pressed X.
Get a repo.
Somewhere else.
Finding your hand one maybe.
Oh, I know, no, control, control X,
But then when I pressed
so control X, control C.
readme, I got an error that the push
And then just do CHC space.
I wonder what you should have now. Maybe there's a, go back one. Maybe there's a contradiction. Maybe
No.
Just a triangle there. Go to the one that says begins.
Oops, the key is invalid, and it must begin with all the the whole
Oh,
page.
just the first one.
So let's get the whole thing.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And, I'm trying to look at why it won't work.
Okay.
Who's stuck, who's not working yet?
I think he's right, 64 bit.
Who's is not working yet?
I can't even.
Oh, you think it's just a little 64-bit? If you do both, you get,
Alright, so.
Yeah.
86 is 32. Same thing. I don't know why they named it.
Did you guys pick which way and get?
What's JBS?
I clicked add.
Go,
go and see.
Here.
What do you do from here? Did you just?
Yeah, you go, that's fine, go ahead. Oh, you
Is
made
it
it.
anything?
No matter what, and then I will stop.
Created that as a
Yeah. Do you need an name?
Yeah.
ABC?
Get this one.
Oh, you still have this one? Oh, why would it be a 64?
Duplicate location.
created any Git repository on your computer.
Oh, maybe you already have that.
No repository.
Yeah, same thing.
And now that
Oh,
So it's like no, you just go into the tool,
So no, so it says duplicate deletion.
repository.
Did you already do this once?
Not that I.
Right, but I haven't created a
Right.
Well, let me try to do this and try
If
again.
you do that, you should be able to
You do it
connect to that, and then
What's
the
the
JBS, those files you have there.
Location must be
You get the little error message.
And it said stop. Yeah.
Which one did you use? I had like.
Sorry. Lower box or?
It's not even have to go here, because
Let's see,
that's
so,
what we'll do on,
let's
Eclipse
go,
anyway, with the import.
let's go back out.
But I can't import yet.
Have you-
Oh,
No, you gotta create
terms
Which it does for here.
of work with.
that should be.
Oh.
Could I just put my public key correct so I can change my permissions on your computer?
Say what again?
The problem is that we can't change our permissions through Git. Like the file, you know, you have to like if with like private files, if they're too open, they won't allow you to connect. That's the problem that we're having.
I don't understand what you mean, but yes, you can do whatever it is you want to do.
So it's just all it's have to do is plug it in,
Yeah,
open up terminal, gmod 600 on.
and you can't do that on a Windows box?
Not with Git because it won't.
Okay.
It won't save the changes, and I can't use it with Plink because Plink doesn't work with 64-bit, and Cygwin won't actually find my directory for some reason. So like out of the three options I normally use, they don't
Okay,
work.
so what is this thing called?
It's in documents.
Yeah, but I have to go down to,
You can just drag it to your if it's easier to. 'Cause I have no
Here.
idea how to CD into.
go ahead and do it.
Am I just gonna keep uploading them? Am I gonna have to do a repository for each assignment?
It's up to you. What's convenient? Yeah,
Then it's all.
It's a whole, it's a self-contained software. So then your account on GitHub is your portfolio.
Great.
If you show them for it.
Okay.
Oh no, I need a new terminal.
Just, it's actually running right here. There's
Oh.
terminal right there.
That's alright.
So we got lost.
CD.
What happened?
Couldn't go. Joseph can't get connected.
So you have
You're
lost
not
for
connected?
technical reasons.
And
Okay,
then,
you're in good shape or not? Or good shape?
can't you just do all available sites? And then what do you,
right now?
what do you say forget the,
You're looking? Oh, okay, so no, go hit this triangle. Did you manage to,
this one?
It's alright.
yeah, that's it, yeah. Hit that. Yeah, hit the first one. Okay, and then the next.
And then the next one's following from there.
Follow on, yeah.
Okay, so Elijah wasn't able to get that, get updates.
Like, it would be, and then it doesn't allow me to add.
Yeah.
Unless I'm spelling something else.
Do it because you already successfully added it before, it says, realize, hit cancel. Hit this triangle.
Yeah.
Done with that.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, then,
I would,
let it go.
But then it says duplicate. There is no sites allowed.
And then type git up here, just searching.
it's thinking of on. And then it's gonna
raise this.
I see what you're saying.
Application, the name is.
Let's see if that works.
Now,
Oh.
hit the first one.
Oh. But, so now,
So what we click now? It was a error with a slash mark instead of a dot. Yeah, the thing you read was wrong.
The thing I wrote down.
I think so, and I read it wrong. Yeah.
So what is it?
Sitting over there, can you slide me?
I guess so. We
Slide ball.
I guess the dot here.
Oh, okay, well that explains a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
So do I just do next or whatever?
Just pick one, yeah.
So what was the problem with that? Did you already?
Yeah.
What do I
Just
do?
the one that's
Hey,
making.
it's strong. You've already tried to change it.
A lot of stuff that I
Maybe
don't
the rain out for it.
Yes,
I don't-
it tells you how to change it.
I don't know. I guess I.
No, you.
I haven't read them yet. All right.
Okay, business?
I guess so.
Nobody else is up?
I'm all set. We can go on.
Oh, we can
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
To the GitHub
I have it.
address.
How do we export? So I can export our.
Push, you're ready to go?
I'm gonna.
Okay, and,
Okay.
so you can.
Okay, yeah, well, if you
Because I was just importing just to connect to
Yeah.
this.
Okay, so let me show you.
Okay.
So yeah, so you're gonna do this. No, not.
What the heck?
Is it on dinner?
That's the, okay, how about, okay,
It was, but I think it's not in the.
maybe we have a,
So.
I love
what you want
song.
to do-
let's see. Yeah, that's
Dude,
good.
why doesn't work? I hate this.
Share project.
Go right inside it and
No.
What's going on like?
Doesn't work there?
Oh, yeah, that was because we already had a project there that right clicked and did import. So, already had a
Maybe
project,
you have to.
so you can import it to a project.
Cancel out, go to your command line, cancel out that, go to your command line. Okay, go to that directory.
Did you get the?
So I downloaded it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay, where did it go?
Is that the one you wanna push up?
Set up configuration.
What do you mean does not exist?
On my
New folder
Red
two.
Get,
this.
how about, just to, yeah. Did it rename it? Okay. Can I see for a second?
That folder isn't the.
Git command not found. And did you, so, okay, need to the repository, but then when I went to my repository, it says about getting.
Yeah.
Oh, did you install it?
CD
Did you
work?
You downloaded, did you, it's on desktop?
CD, and then you'll get it. Okay, now go back to here. I think if you do share.
Oh, so you have to double click.
Yeah.
You did that?
On Eclipse, it needs to be inside an Eclipse project.
What?
Okay.
Do you have that Eclipse project already?
Wait, no, you just did one. Okay, now work, okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that is just to clone and add a repository.
So you want to
It's not that. You want your SSH somewhere. Where do you SSH?
yes.
I need to set where to.
Oh, no, you want it for
Being my RSA.
Probably not.
Back to the desktop.
Now you do.
So the correct directory.
Yeah.
All
Is
this
it
stuff.
the right again, correct?
So here's where you do it. So just make a repository.
No, the one on the server, on the.
So I
Find out ESA.
Is that the site right?
It's not in the.
Actually make it.
It's right there. JBS.
Oh, right.
There's no enemies in the file. So cap into this means take commands, characters, and keyboard, and stick them in there until you hit Control D.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Cause I
That
need
would be the first step where we are now, which is JBS to do.
How does this about the energy now?
So now you can say, you can do it. So now say get space. And then
No, I haven't.
okay. Now get
Now what directory go to?
This one.
So go to that directory, easy to.
In the terminal.
And then do git commit there.
Okay, now get status.
So I've got master
So just go around where the work is. Where it's working.
as
And just let's find what's going on.
So get minus m, it's called JBS. So here just type the message.
JBS freeware.
No,
And
it's
in the
English
workspace folder in my files.
Okay, and so if you do C
I'm not sure how
Oh, it's all together.
Hey guys, couple of tips. So when you're trying to take a folder you have on your laptop up to the server to turn it into a part of the Git repository, the steps are like this. Go to the server, make sure you have an account, GitHub, make sure you have an account, create an empty create a repository there that will have nothing in it. Go to your laptop, go to the subdirectory that contains the project, do a git init in that directory, which magically turns that directory into a Git directory. Go into Eclipse, and then you can do a team share on that directory to attach it to Eclipse, and then you can upload it.
Get in, all does that switch to the bash?
To the terminal?
Like how do you connect?
Yes, I believe so. There may be a way to do it inside of GitHub, inside of Eclipse.
I just can't see in this folder, that's my problem. So I can get there.
Trying to rename it or something like that. One more thing on Mac, having spaces in your directories causes push journey.
But I mean, even with JBS freeware,
Origin master,
Uh,
I mean,
no, it's charged.
Yeah.
oh,
I'm gonna-
origin master.
And are you doing the Eclipse version or command line? Yep.
So you didn't clone it from GitHub, that repository, you created that locally and you now try to connect it.
Yeah,
So that means the address.
Not a Git repository.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
so
is gonna be trouble.
this code and Control C will be this, right?
Oh, Git, now init.
Now get out of the dialog and go back.
Now it's repository. Now Git status.
But what is that way to import?
So, yeah, contract files, so there's hello, I'll say,
That,
nothing add to commit, but contract files, is Git add to track.
Creative.
Contract files, hello, there it is. So Git add.
yeah, this is already, so that's what I
And
do.
Git
I would suggest you
Oh,
it
it's
says a new file, hold
copy that element from your Google and define not the whole thing, the first thing.
on. Git status.
Do you have the question?
Yeah, but basically there's gonna be some.
So then you want to lift it up to GitHub.
Okay.
So that's what it's doing here. So go to
Yeah.
GitHub. So
Yes.
is it up?
Sure.
There it is. Okay.
Now,
And
I'm in a similar situation.
So go to admin.
I tried to add it at first, and then my
There's an
back dropped out. Now I'm trying to add it again, and it says duplicate.
Click on.
Who is that?
Now I can edit it, change it.
So here's the problem.
And did you, so you have,
So what I
or
did.
make one?
I don't have the SSH
Click on the
Git.
down option here.
When I started
Oh, okay.
first, it
Okay.
gave me that,
Yeah, but as somebody
Well,
else
you
is
just- so
coming
this
back
one
here,
you can actually-
I don't,
give
this could be
Let's,
anyone, so.
A single file.
Just so it's cloning.
Add
So grab
my,
this. So
if you do that.
Actually, just can you
That's what I had.
figure that out? You just grab
If I
that,
try to connect to GitHub, it says that my private key is too big.
and then go to your,
And it
show
won't let me
notes.
physically change the permissions.
And then go back up and just delete this whole test kit repository.
Not both.
No, just one.
What happens if I do both?
Maybe I can
Maybe I use this line over, log, just log out.
Just pick the first one.
And open it up again.
Yeah, I think,
And then, just,
should you put it, put one here?
remove Microsoft test kit.
Yeah.
Or you don't,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
And remove
Wait, why
protected.
did
Okay, good, quick.
Here,
Oh, so we don't have to do anything with it?
Let's just move,
That's,
remove
I
test
guess,
kit.
where-
Later.
Just saws, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything with it at all?
Alright, so we just,
What I, no,
if I go in here to my workspace
the
directory,
key only gets added,
we have two JBS reworks now, one with space and without space.
Which one is the good one?
Yeah, JBS with this one.
Just log into your GitHub repository.
And then I went into T and I added it.
Everything
How
we
do
did.
edit it?
Okay, let's see now. This is, you're sitting in Eclipse.
Well, let's go, let's just go to desktop.
I feel this way, like I.
This is probably the old one. Good one that does not have.
Here's your desktop.
Right.
On the desktop, you want to make, do,
Because you have to,
well,
first of all, you have to-
all these, all
Oh,
these,
you
just
have-
do,
What's in your address?
and that's right, we can just type it in. We just type in that address.
Where should I find it?
We didn't do
No, you have to literally say.
Did you do anything with SSH public key or no?
Where you.
Which
I did that. I don't know where it's like, IBSA.
General.
What is this you're using?
So it says, get at github.com,
No, it's just like, you have to have,
Gaspar,
if you wanna log into your own repository, you do SSH get at github.com, right? No, you can log into your own repository.
Yeah.
That's
Check that.
also why
Okay.
it's not,
Yeah.
And then.
Initially, SSH.
It didn't go through all the stages. Okay, that was confusing, right? And what one did it
Yeah, right. All it is, well, what happens is it says, oh, your private key is trouble.
Here's the final
Change
And it's just copy.
I
know.
You need to set this up if you wanna use. You have your private key, IDR shows your private key.
Maze. Not sure, race.
fatal, the remote end hung up on spectrum.
And now,
I think we have bad patches, but that's the. Yes.
This is what I was trying to say, like, the error I'm getting. And I changed the file permissions on like multiple devices and it still won't change.
I have shown permission 0644 C/5 are too open, so
Yeah, the
that
private
it
key.
is recommended that your private key files are not accessible by others. Just private key will be more.
easier. The
When I
problem
try to
in
change the
general
permissions,
area
the
of
CH
trying to
file
import
won't
files
actually
into a directory
submit,
with
save the
their-
changes.
You can mess with it or you can.
Unprotected.
I just.
This is all I want.
Why didn't you just make it easy?
I did that, I did RSA and DSA.
Did you push?
I changed the permissions on
And what's the operating system?
This is 7. I tried to change the file permissions itself on different computers, and when I put it back here, it keeps reverting back to 644.
Well, you push it and then you hit commit first and then push.
And can you change it on 6? Can you change it here? And where's the file? Can you just do
Commit again.
I can try, if I do it, it doesn't,
Yes.
so don't
Oh, drag and drop. No, what?
Let's change the comment. Doesn't matter.
Kicking.
Try now again.
So, Bjorn, where's Bjorn? Bjorn is the all the windows.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I got to it and do 600 plus the pattern.
Yes, I have.
No, I didn't do it again, it's gonna keep spinning at the same error.
Yeah, but it only takes.
Okay, then,
Once
what
Are
you
you
do is
sure
go
that
to,
you are-
go to Google.
I'm trying to
What
remember.
is it?
Yeah, they say,
Have you
oh,
associated
use
government with
CHMON,
this?
and then you're like, well, it doesn't work after that, you go right back, and they're like, oh, I don't get that.
Annoying.
Huh.
You did the,
Like a mouse to thingy.
Did you get yours?
So.
I did, I typed it while doing it for it. I don't know.
Okay, was that this project?
That's,
That was
it's the first
No,
one.
this project did it also by doing the
Okay, so sign, yeah, let's go to see.
share.
You did the share.
So,
Yeah,
this
and
is,
then
this is
that's-
annoying.
Strange.
Let me just
It looks like it doesn't know remote. Are you sure you did this by?
Yeah,
How did you
So
create
this
this?
is amend sheet of.
Did it mean share, but that didn't.
And,
Oh, yeah, here.
and it's
Oh.
usually,
This is retarded. This is the worst icon. This is the worst.
oh, you're trying to
icon.
fix it.
Well, that's terrible.
So what do you want?
I still have it on there.
As part of the install instruction says you have to set this up.
Push and,
Is
I think what we want to do is have, create something on here to be the recipient.
so what happened?
Okay, so this
Oh, yeah.
is.
Committed.
Okay. What do I do now?
Grab this URL.
I push. I guess I push, right? I click the push.
Unprotected,
Master, right? Then I push.
unprotected.
But it's.
Arbitrary location. So I have to use that website, right? Where do I pull the
That's
Warning,
part of the
I've
rule.
tried many things on Windows, get Windows access to GitHub. Here's an exact message.
Add name.
Yeah, they set up a
What's
verbose.
the name and location?
Unprotected, account issues, GitHub support, here's support at GitHub
Oh.
from 2010, 2006. They say,
Show me your.
I'm running Windows 7, previous signal session, GCS.
Yeah. They scroll down, like, yeah, use CHMON, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't have.
This is.
I have a repository on my.
I don't know.
I think you want a new repository, because I think you have a repository of all JBS 2011 as one file.
Yeah.
You want to create a new repository and then recipient for that
I
project.
can see that when I add ls from the signal agencies,
So click on your name
oh, that's fine, look at that.
and look for button that says new repository.
What was this discussion? In P-Link works just fine, guess I'll stick with it.
P-Link, yeah, that's what I've been trying to use, P-Link, but P-Link doesn't work for
Oh,
64.
actually, yeah, you're in there.
So I could, there's a solution to it,
Yeah.
but the solution doesn't work on my computer.
Create a repository.
Because P-Link doesn't have 64 bits.
So it's at 64.
Project name.
Exactly, what is the command for
Just the
And
one.
then if you use Sigwin,
Yeah.
that's fine, but it doesn't work. I tried to
So I
find
just
my
see
directory on this.
I'm in the
On
directory.
that directory, so
JBS
now it's
works.
installing like
Okay,
every single
so,
package.
do
Yes.
status, first check.
Three.
whether-
Oh, this is such a nice
This
site.
is from 2009,
ENet.
INIT,
unprotected warning.
Right.
okay?
More.
Alright.
Okay, now go back to
So-
GitHub.
We
I'm
have
sorry,
a bit
go back to Eclipse
create
and,
Team.
It's really good, actually.
So now I'm gonna go get.
I switched
I
to
have this
open
is
to, and that's
location.
working better.
Yeah.
Open?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's open.
Don't tell anyone else though. 'Cause then-
Oh, okay, I won't tell
now,
anyone.
so now what you've done is,
You
the
can always
local
access
stuff is
okay.
Gitified.
Right.
Just in case.
Now you want to tie to the server, right?
Yep.
So go to GitHub,
Where do I
create a repository for
This
this
is
project.
this. Okay, I'll get
Get
there
its
yet.
URL,
I'm in Git. Adding
which
repository.
is, this is the project. and
Yeah,
this
we
is
should-
gonna be-
Location. Should say Git. There's the name already there.
the JBS people.
Eclipse, yes. Do the T
Yeah,
notice.
location Git.
Um,
You should have it with that. You should
Why
have it.
why won't we do it?
Wait.
No, that's because it's, I guess,
Did it break my space bar?
it's a restricted field, yes.
Fetch immediately. What happened?
That's where he is. Reserve not complete that.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Did you succeed?
It's the same thing you get.
Well, I was following these
Fail.
steps to do it, and then that's when you make a decision.
What?
Right.
It's
But I have
600
these
entire
systems,
directory.
So you can just skip that and go for give remote.
Yeah.
That's
I just gotta,
What? Why?
copy this information.
I've been denied some stuff, 0% for installing the plugin.
Go through.
Where do you get the plugin?
What about using Putty?
Yeah, that's what it's talking about, Putty, which P-Link is the terminal-based version of Putty. Putty is like a file window, like a file manager.
Already,
So like, it's not
I made a
command
folder.
based, it's like.
so you have this folder somewhere.
Wow.
Eclipse thing,
Yeah, so
right, so go to that directory.
here,
Eclipse directory.
so I read CD.
Then I remember that window
JBS
permissions
here.
also inherit permissions from folders, and the folder was still open.
Okay,
The solution could be to set permissions for the folder.
Where am I?
Anyway, that way,
let's do
make
that.
Where I am.
folder 700.
Where am I?
Yeah,
This can be done, better way would be to tell the system to ignore inheritance for this file. This can be done using the advanced option on the security tab in the properties of the file and unchecking inherent and added permissions. Once you try that. So go to the file,
I think it's easier to
and then
do
look
in
at the
terminal.
properties of the
Yeah,
file.
we did Ramon there.
So actually
Yeah.
do.
Security tab on the properties of the file.
So how do I go now? CD.
Okay.
CD.
This simply involves overriding MySys, which is Sigma SSHDSC.
Yes,
Because I haven't committed anything yet.
I don't know. I want to check something.
I know this, I don't know, it's like, it's got stuck somehow, should it, I don't know, it's at 0%.
Advanced tab.
Why don't you kill and start over?
Security.
It might be a bug. Yeah.
It
Try it again, see what happens. Could have been your connection.
Inherited.
Where I am.
Now I can.
I think it's like right on here.
So where's your workspace now?
I think it's under user. I think it's, yeah, I would keep it under user for a folder.
Here, we're no longer
Yeah, so
talking
you just
to
do-
click add to convert and add inheritance.
CD.
Click remove to remove inherit permissions from this object. Click cancel. So.
Hang on.
All you need to do is.
It's just that one file. The only place where user permission access this object. Or the owner can assign permission. That's good, that's what you want. Okay, now try.
No.
If you deny all users access to this, no one will be able to access the ideal.
When you doesn't change.
Oh, do you want to continue? No, because you want the owner of the see it too. Maybe 700 is not what you want. 700 is direct access. Oh, you want the owner to be able to change the permissions.
Yeah.
That's okay. So we should say this yes.